one slip now, so probably thinking, well, it's not doing anything with the ball. We actually haven't seen much with the ball through the air off the pitch. They've gone with a very square gully. Yeah, those numbers. Where 8 players of the 11 today contribute to 150 caps, an average 25, and Williams, Raza, and Irvin take a huge chunk of the games from an experience point of view. So you brought up some excellent points there. Play and a miss. Some good points in that they've done it by average for Zimbabwe in ODI cricket. So you've really got to take your cap off to them and say, well, Raza, Irvin, and Williams have done it for so long, with such longevity in the game. But you can also see how the brains trust are starting to think, well, these 3 are our best, so we keep them if they can keep going and build the team around them.
Quick single, good running. And the reason.
Raza, Williams, and Irvin since June 2022. Look at the average, and this speaks to how and why they continue to be a permanent feature. Look at the average, look at the hundreds, look at the return of runs compared to the others at 125 with 200s and averaging 20.
The engine room, adding 4, 5, and 6 in this format. Let's not forget that they also bowled 20 overs between Raza and Williams, and that's what makes them so valuable. It's not a like-for-like replacement as batters. It's all-rounders that you are looking to replace.
Orne's come out to play. Beautiful shot. Shafiq's come out to play as well. Oh, yes. Oh, another splendid shot.
Well, he's played a couple of these so far this morning. Textbook balance, not overhitting it. That's timing at its best.
Man, that's a great point. They don't just come with the bat, do they? Those two, Raza and Williams, they bowl as well. Now that's the length for me. Oh, was there a chance that there was a direct hit? Maybe. But that's the length for me here on the surface. That you can't float it up there. You can't get it into that 4 meter length. There isn't a great deal of bounce. It's just going to come on perfectly for these batters. You've got to try and hit the deck now.
And as a tall, lanky fast bowler, that's what you want to use. Use a length of bounce to your advantage.
Umpire's happy with that. End of the over. It's 22 without loss.
Since 9 and what is those? Brush, Carol, brush, Carol, brush, Carol. Brush, Carol, then
Sensodyne kids in it. Mastrofi casa ocho. Prima.
Cavities soon okay. Away his strong. I'm a good I'm giggling. All day long.
Brush, Carol, brush, Carol, brush, Carol.
Since 9 and what is those?
Yeah, and then on the flip side, because I love balance, I enjoy having a bit of a balanced conversation. Pakistan, their whole 11 today, They have a total of 186 caps and an average age of 27. So there's an indication of where Pakistan are going. We're looking at where Zimbabwe are going, but then you also start looking at where Pakistan want to go with the young side.
And hence see the likes of Sain Shah, Afridi, Abar Azam. Brave call by the Pakistan selectors. There you go, those numbers. Says it all.
Well, you know, we looked at Zimbabwe and we thought, wow, that's not many. But then you look at Pakistan, the 9 players, average 26 with 65 matches, where Harris, Rolf, and Rizwan contribute to 121. So there's a clear indication of how, you know, there are some similarities here with Zimbabwe to some degree. It was 3 in the other and 2 here. In that teams are going in a different direction. Pakistan have had their issues in the last sort of 12 months, but you can see where they're going.
much better length from Garava. The pitch we're on today was played on in the second ODI, and it was a much better batting surface, even though Zimbabwe's numbers didn't reflect that. But from 7.5 overs we've seen today, ODlZOHAIB, you were spot on at the pitch report earlier on. The ball certainly coming on quite nicely for the seamers. The strokes the batters have played, they haven't been able to in those first two matches.
Another one. You can't bowl him there. You just cannot. He's looking out for these deliveries, and he is bouncing on every opportunity. Saim Ayub.
I've just heard Richard Garava over the stump mine go, Rapara Garapasi. That means that it didn't bounce as much as he expected, which tells you that that was a deliberate short ball. If it was, that's not the right length you want to be bowling for a deliberate short ball. Even if it goes up, it's not high enough.
I'm afraid he was not committed fully to that delivery. A good early call from Abdullah. So no danger. Yeah, as a bowler on a pitch like this, yes, whenever you pitch the ball up, it's sliding onto the bat. But if you decide to bowl short, you need to be fully committed. Half tracker, you're serving the batter.
Yeah, very, very flat today, the surface. That's the length you want to be bowling. The line as well. Good carry through to the keeper. 39 for none.
अब कोका कोला की 2 लीटर बॉटल सिर्फ 220 रुपए में खाना बनाए मैजिकल कोका कोला के साथ।
जैस के पास हर नीड का हल है। बस *699# मिलाओ और अपने लिए खास बनाए हुए पैकेज को अपनी सुपर पावर बनाओ।
That's the Manhattan, current rate 4.88, but what it shows is progression. Pakistan batsmen settling into this pitch and starting to score quite freely.
Plenty of said about Saim Ayub's batting. That was a whip stroke, but how about this? Simplicity of pleasure to watch those strokes played in such manner, and that was disdainful. Anything short, Pakistani batters are going.
What that package is showing is that the surface is so good. As soon as you're slightly short, or you've over-pitched, and that was more so to Abdullah Shafiq, the shorter deliveries to the left-hander Ayub. Gives them the opportunity to play strokes like this and get boundaries.
That is a good news for Pakistan. Abdullah Shafiq finding a bit of rhythm. He's moving well. He was very efficient against the faster bowlers on the front foot, and this time around, rocked back and pierced the gap. You have to give a lot of credit to the selectors and the management of the team. Even though Abdullah Shafiq has been struggling, they're stuck with him. And he's looking good now.
They're looking very relaxed. Pakistan change room. 34 for none after 8.3.
seem like Zimbabwean bowlers, they haven't gleaned the information about Saimayu. He's not a sweeper of the ball. And if you have a mid-wicket in place, usually bowlers employ that field placing if you know there is somebody who's going to slog sweep you. That's a waste unless you have placed that fielder for a ball which is dragged really back. You can't place fielders for bad deliveries, can you?
No, certainly not. Although we see it all too often, Amir, in international cricket. 46 for none.
इस मैजिकल ऑफर को जाने ना दें। अब कोका कोला की 2 लीटर बॉटल सिर्फ 220 रुपए में। खाना बनाए मैजिकल कोका कोला के साथ।
Yeah, that's what you want. As a captain, when the toss decide to bat, you want your openers to do the seminal work. And they have done so. And they're scoring briskly. Sean Williams, he was exceptional during the first ODI where he picked up important wickets. Tipped the scale of the game in the favor of his side. Needs to do a decent job here.
Very handy, Sean Williams, in this format of the game. His most outstanding for Zimbabwe. He's just gone past 5,000 runs in one-day international cricket. Joins an elite group, but throughout his career has been contributing with the ball in hand as well.
And he lends that balance to his side, doesn't he? If you have a couple of batters who could Kamran Gulam came to the Pakistan A side to Zimbabwe a couple of years ago. Was in amongst the runs very early in his one-day international career. I like the look of him. He's got the makeup of a very good top to middle order batsman.
Had a very good test match debut. As we see the replay of that wicket. One, as a batsman, you looking to whip the ball. This is the area where the ball goes. It was well thought out. Field placing as far as the bowler and the captain is concerned paid off. Yeah, talking about Kamran Gulam, he had an absolutely brilliant beginning to his test match career, but not so in T20 and also in ODI. Perfect opportunity for him to assert himself. Situation is quite easy. No gremlins in the pitch. He can take his time.
He's got some swing there. Abdullah Shafiq just managing to get the bat down in time.
Could have been dangerous. Could have been dangerous. You don't want, as a batsman, to have the ball dipping very late. But manage it well, like you said, Tino.
Bit of extra pace on that one, and it might have just got in time.
Correct.
That one just goes straight from Akram. Brilliant work. Dion Myers, the fielder, certainly saved a couple for Zimbabwe. 62 for 1.
इस मैजिकल ऑफर को जाने ना दें। अब कोका कोला की 2 लीटर बॉटल सिर्फ 220 रुपए में। खाना बनाए मैजिकल कोका कोला के साथ।
JB Centurion goes for 31 today, Simon Yu, from that second one-day international.
Nice, Willie.
4.77 to the over.
Yes, Willie. Hit me, yeah.
64 for 1 of the 40.
जैस के पास हर नीड का हल है, बस *699# मिलाओ और अपने लिए खास बनाए हुए पैकेज को अपनी सुपर पावर बनाओ।
अब कोका कोला की 2 लीटर बॉटल सिर्फ 220 रुपए में। खाना बनाए मैजिकल कोका कोला के साथ।
So Zimbabwe do pick up their first wicket. Courtesy of Faiz Akram. He's into his third now, 1 for 6. He's into the side. Trevor Gwandu. Karam Gulam, there you go, his numbers. Let's say 400. And this is in 2024. Peter Hanscom from Australia, averaging 50. He's got 412. That's Sri Lanka. So those numbers are reflective of his selection into the side. A little bit of a misfield. Allows for the second as I welcome for the first time today, Darlington Matambanazzo.
Morning, Ed. 2 Sri Lankans round out that list of Mr. 100s.
Spice.
I think what Akram has done really well here is that he's trying to keep things very simple. Bring the keeper up and his change of pace. He doesn't have a great deal of pace. So he's actually asking the batter to make the play, to try and create the pace off the surface and off the bat. And so that allows Craig Irvin to sort of rein in what was quite a good start by Pakistan and set a field that is suited to that particular type of bowling. And so this is a real nice phase of play here that Zimbabwe can capitalize on.
Just continue to just get the odd one to really swing in quite sharply. But for me, exactly, the key here has been his lack of pace. It's very effective for batters. Sayim Ayub in particular, he didn't like the fact the ball wasn't coming on anymore.
I've seen a lot of him. Your thoughts on Akram?
As I said, he's very suited to this sort of conditions. There's a little bit of slowness. It's gone straight up, and it's going to clear along mid-off and boundary for Shafiq Abdallah. Field is up, so this is quite risk-free. And it's the first time Abdullah Shafiq has actually taken on Faraz Akram.
Go for us. Oh, nice.
7 off the over and 71 for 1.
कोका कोला की 2 लीटर बॉटल सिर्फ 220 रुपए में। खाना बनाए मैजिकल कोका कोला के साथ।
जैस के पास हर नीड का हल है, बस *699# मिलाओ और अपने लिए खास बनाए हुए पैकेज को अपनी सुपर पावर बनाओ।
Williams continue with the slip in place.
Oh!
Where was that? Probably just dropping a little bit short of Sean Williams, but there's one that goes in the surface.
This one looks like it might have just held up in that surface a little longer.
Nice, Willow. Tough fight.
Quite short as well, so Willem is actually pushing at that rather than just allowing it to come to him and then play square of the wicket.
Nice, Willow. Tough champion.
Couldn't get rid of control for the Zimbabweans. Really important that wicket. It's the partnership of bowlers.
Oh, yeah. Yes, for us.
I think the key here would really be to drive the boundaries. If they get the odd 1, 2, that's fine.
Tough, Willow.
But you don't want every over to have a boundary. And it speaks to your point about bowling as a pair.
Nice, Willow.
I think Sean Williams here could actually open up the other end for Faiz Akram, where the batters may go after him or look for one that isn't quite there. He's already got through his over so quickly. That one stays down.
Nice, Wolves.
5 dot balls and a single to end the over. After 16, it's 72 for 1.
Sense time and cut those. Brush arrow, brush arrow, brush arrow. Brush arrow dinara.
Sensodyne kids in the must be casa ocho.
Cavities good pakai. Away is strong. I'm a kushki kare, I'm giggle all day long. Brush arrow, brush arrow, brush arrow. Sensodyne and pakke those.
Or maybe new batter, Kamran Gulam. Often a good idea to turn to your number 1 bowler, your premier seamer, it's ODlZOHAIB Ali. Start to think that you're getting into control and starting to get to a point where you can restrict Pakistan to a score that'll be easier to chase later on.
Yeah. I'm trying to scratch my head and probably think about why he's done that. You mentioned, yeah, maybe a new batter. Maybe looking to strike. Shafiq would be one.
And Richard Garawa was pretty much guilty of the same thing. Pitched a couple of times and was a little bit short again on occasion. When he did bowl the short ball, sometimes he didn't bowl it with the right level of intent.
Yeah, in the beginning of today's start of play, we spoke about how much cricket these players are going to start playing. Zimbabwe, with these fast bowlers that they have, they've got a busy December. Straight after this series, Afghanistan arrive, go into 3 T20s, 3 ODIs. Those are in Harare. And then for the first time in quite a long while, you have a Boxing Day test match here in Bulawayo against Afghanistan. And then a New Year's test match. All that cricket just seems as if it's all back to back, really. And so when I look at ODlZOHAIB Ali this morning, he just looks a little bit labored. Hasn't quite got that zip off the surface, that little bit of extra pace he can generate. And so it'll be a interesting 4 weeks, 5 weeks here for Zimbabwe. How are they going to manage these bowlers and their workloads? They call them loads nowadays, or volume. Single to end 17th. 76 for 1.
It's magical of
For a moment there, Dion Myers had read that run, but it was so nicely played just to be able to just manipulate the field. It's a little bit squarer of field at cover. This partnership now is 19 off 30, so they have taken their time, these two. In the air, shaking the shackles are Ghulam and Shafiq.
Really wonderful use of the feet here. Gets deep into the crease. And no fielder back there, so that's a safe shot. Sean Williams knows that he's guilty of an error there.
That one just grips, just turns a little bit of fraction just to square him up. Yeah, that one just dragged down, and Ghulam was in such a good position, as you mentioned. They did away for 6, and that just releases that pressure. How slow this partnership was. Italia there, a flag of Islanders. The home of the Bulawayo Chiefs. Highlanders. Very proud football club here in this part of the world. And it's how they approach patience. Because there's not a lot happening for them out in the middle with the ball in hand. It's going to be patience. It's going to be resilience and consistency for a period of time that can create wickets for them.
Fantastic batting conditions, looks like out there. A little bit of turn on offer, but nothing that should be difficult to manage. So as results, you've just got to be, as a bowling side, very patient. Any wicket taken so far. Akram, it's just because he bowled good lines and lengths. He was patient, kept it very simple.
That is a beautiful, beautiful deft touch. Effortless, really, just using the pace. And also because of how square third was, you can see Zarawani gesturing that, wow, that was way, way too square.
Such awareness, real awareness around it. Feeling slightly wrong. He gets himself again into a very good position to eliminate risk. Shot is riskless. Easy boundary.
And this is where I speak about the patience of this phase of the game in these conditions. As a bowler, as a captain, your field has to be quite spot on to build that pressure, to build a little bit of momentum on your side. Make the batter try and make the play. They are very good batting conditions, but you can find a way. Definitely, you can find a rhythm.
It's more about, as a boxing analogy, it's kind of those little jabs that set up pressure, create pressure, keep your opponent on the back foot. Really the sort of wicket you get knockout punches on.
Spoken like a boxer.
Did try it out as a younger man, but Sada's too pretty to keep getting hit like that.
Did you box with your glasses on?
I had to take them off, unfortunately. Had to take them off, unfortunately. But like, fantastic thing is, as long as you're this far away, within sort of punching distance, I see you well.
Oh, a bit of a nothing shot there. He's tried to play that deft touch again. A little bit of extra pace and bounce. End of the over. It's 90 for 1.
इस मैजिकल ऑफर को जाने ना दें। अब कोका कोला की 2 लीटर बॉटल सिर्फ 220 रुपए में। खाना बनाए मैजिकल कोका कोला के साथ।
Projections
You want to place on square?
for Pakistan with the way they've started and the foundation they have, they'll be looking at that 6 and over, 276 and maybe 307. If they have a really good partnership over 300, they'll be really happy with that.
Nice.
Skandaraza back into the attack.
Nice, Saki. Start.
Bowled 2 1 over spells so far. You're absolutely right. It's a partnership.
Nice, Saki.
To get that big score, to get towards that 300 mark, you need a couple of, at least 100 run plus partnership.
How is that? Raza says. I could go off unmoved.
Might just have been passing, angling on past the leg stump, just where Maromani is appealing from. Gives you an idea. It's probably down the leg side.
The addition of Raza into the attack now just brings a bit of a different dimension. I think the matchup to go with Williams because of the left arm spin to try and get the ball away from the two right-handers worked for a period, and now the change-up happens. A different vibe, a different look of how to perhaps break this partnership, get a new batter out there in the middle. It's also because of Raza that he brings so much variety to his bowling. It's almost a different ball every delivery.
Also got a point out. I think Craig Irvin's got it really right today. Mixed up his bowlers. A lot of short, sharp spells for every single bowler who's bowled today. Just not really allowing the Pakistanis to line up one guy and get after him.
Over. One run off the over. It's 91 for 1.
सेंसराइन रैपिड एक्शन सिर्फ 60 सेकंड्स में आराम देता है। मैं रेकमेंड करती हूँ सेंसराइन रैपिड एक्शन का रोजाना बाकायदगी से इस्तेमाल। पेशेंट्स वापस आके बताते हैं इट वर्क्स।
जैस के पास हर नीड का हल है, बस *699# मिलाओ और अपने लिए खास बनाए हुए पैकेज को अपनी सुपर पावर बनाओ।
Slightly slow going for both sides. I think that run rate now is also dropped away at 4.5. And also for Zimbabwe, they've been able to just resurrect that easy run flow that we saw for a period. So there we go, 4.5 at this stage. And I think for them, if they can keep it there, Zimbabwe, they'll be quite happy for a long period of time. As Pakistan will feel, well, you know, we're not really getting on with it. We're not really pushing the ascendancy. We're not really pushing back on Zimbabwe. So one of these players, and I feel they're very similar in technique and how they approach an innings. And this could be actually a negative for Pakistan in that two batters at the crease that bat the same way. Have a look at the graphic. Yeah, that graphic tells you, yeah, a little bit different, but only different because of 3 overs, 12, 15, and 18. The rest have been very quiet.
A bit of a misfield, but that's a valiant attempt at a stop from Dion Myers. Get it in the hands. So, a single.
Great batting.
It's ground quite well.
Pakistan
Was able to get it in the hand and prevent that
score.
single. Talk about a coming of age story. We witnessed one a couple of days ago. Saeem Ayub got his first 100. He came of age. And Singam Sekiwa, who's on, Sean Williams, is off for some treatment. Coming of age story I was interested in actually was Dion Myers. We'll come to that.
I think I've had a look at the ball and they're quite happy with something. I'm not sure if it's lost its shape or if it's really taken a bit of a pounding. In fact, it looks like the seam has popped. Can you just see the raised seam there? It looks like that particular ball has popped along the line of the seam. You've seen that happen. Wow. And maybe that's why it has been very difficult to put away that one delivery, because once the seam pops, it loses integrity of its hardness. The ball becomes quite soft in the end.
Pakistan.
Once the seam pops,
It also explained why
20 over 93 score.
Sarab Ali and Garava haven't looked threatening. 1 wicket to fall so far. Madande picked up a catch on the boundary of background. Saim Ayub, 31.
So they've got a replacement delivery. Another misfield will allow for a single.
Yeah, we were just talking about that coming of age story. Dion Myers was on the screen at the time. Saim Ayub, young cricketer, picked up 100. Been around the Zimbabwe cricket setup for a while. Took some time off to go to university. Highest score in international and ODIs is 34, which does not at all reflect the sort of talent that Dion Myers has. It's a long time you're talking about lots of series for Zimbabwe. I hope to see him come of age, get his first major score in international cricket soon.
End of the over.
Pakistan good batting.
That's 95 for 1.
Sense time and cut eight those.
Brush arrow, brush arrow, brush arrow. Brush arrow dinara.
Sensor time, kids in there. Must be casa, pacho, paper.
Cavities tool pakai. Away is strong.
हम खुल के करें हम giggle all day long.
Brush girl, brush girl, brush girl. Sense time and cut eight those.
On to the singles, 37 of them so far. As I say, a very good morning to my co-commentator, Morning from
Nice, Sachi, good stuff.
Just referring to those
Stuff,
singles,
boys.
I also want to just draw
Nice,
viewers'
Sachi.
attention to how Pakistan have negotiated this period after the first wicket's fallen.
Yes! Come on, mate.
Whereas Akram needs to be a little bit quicker to try and squeeze a run-out opportunity. Zimbabwe, even though they won that first game, have been lacking in their rotation of strike, lacking in understanding that this middle part of the innings were able to just maneuver the ball around. Yes, the surfaces were slightly different. Short.
In, Russo! In!
But
Let it
that
go!
will come around and collect and keep it to 1. But I'll go very quickly through the fall of wickets. First ODI, 41 for 1, 58 for 2, 67 for 3, 83 for 4. Second ODI, 6 for 1, 23 for 2, 61 for 3, 68 for 4. So what Pakistan has done since the loss of their first wicket today, Zimbabwe can learn from.
Nice.
Absolutely, and the numbers that you mentioned there tells me one thing, that there's a red flag whenever the Zimbabwean batters and the partnership wanted to move through the gears a little bit. As soon as they wanted to go from the first stage of just consolidating, getting that partnership to 10 or 15 and then accelerating, fine tickle around the leg side. Was Rabani, he's got to chase it down. Just be the two. So it tells me two things. Either it's good bowling from Pakistan, or the options that were taken were either executed poorly by the Zimbabwean batters, or they were the wrong options. But you're right, this partnership between Gulam and Shafiq, 41 or 58, effortless, low risk. This sort of partnership you enjoy watching when you're in the change room watching.
Or at home on the couch. Single brings up the 100. And the 22nd over. It's 100 for 1.
Century rapid.
Being able to maneuver the ball around during the middle innings when the field is spread. You still need to be proactive and positive. When the boundary balls are there, you've got to score off them. In the air, will drop short of Ngaraba at third.
Better find themselves